Hi, I'm excited for this episode because today we're going to dive deeper on our soul's connection to God and the divine. I had a few requests from some of you to speak more on that. So stick around till the end because we're going to do a guided meditation or a guided exercise on deepening that. But for now, I just wanted to go over a few points that may inspire you from my journey of discovering my connection to myself. When I was 12 years old, my mom and dad took my brothers and I to a workshop in San Francisco, and I'll never forget, it was called Sanea and Dwayne, and it was about connecting to your higher self. I should look up my notes, what I wrote about it. But I remember coming home, and I remember I really liked the feeling of going within and connecting to my higher self. Now, at 12 years old, that was just a huge, peaceful pattern and programming that taught me something great was inside of me. And that has stayed with me my whole life. Now, I haven't always been on a great meditation routine, and I haven't always felt my connection. I still work on it today. So I'm not here to say I'm some pro. I'm just here to tell you my journey of discovering my connection to my soul and what you can do to deepen yours. So let's clarify a few things. Growing up, studying spiritual stuff, I heard the words higher self, spirit, soul. What I've come to understand is your soul is this energetic being. It's who you really are. It's an entity that never dies. Regardless of your spiritual or religious beliefs, your soul comes from God, the divine, and it comes into this physical body. Spirit is the divine, is God, is the highest. And your higher self, well, I think that's another way of saying your soul. So feel free to use whatever words work best for you. So in my life, I've spoken about this before briefly in my books. I mentioned it, so you might have heard this. But for those of you who are new to me, I am a coach, a certified coach and trauma release practitioner. I've been doing this 25 years. And what I have learned about my connection to myself is when I was little, I would have these visions of floating up into the universe. And I was surrounded by these light beings. And I always thought this was just my imagination. But where I want to dive deep today, and it's a little out there, so stay with me and see how it makes you feel, is I've recently, in the last few years, I've gone to 2 of Dr. Joe Dispenza's meditation retreats. For those of you who don't know about him, I'll put the link to his work in the description. And those of you that you do know, he dives deep into meditation. I've also studied Parmahansa Yogananda's meditation. And both of these men, Parmahansa Yogananda is no longer in the physical. He came over in the 1920s from India to America, and he set up self-realization fellowships across the world. They both do the same meditation, which is the breath up the spine. I'm going to circle back to everything, so just stay with me. You might have to listen to this again because I'm going to share a lot of golden nuggets. And they're ancient teachings. They go way, 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 way back. This isn't anything new. These teachers are teaching us Western man how to have a connection to God, because God is it's not tangible, right? So if you don't have a master or a guru or a teacher, a person, me, can feel very lost trying to discover, how do I connect through prayer? How do I visualize? How do I have that experience? So having a teacher, having wisdom is so powerful. Knowledge is power. So what I want to first address is we want to know why we're connecting with our soul. Why do we want to meditate? There's so much knowledge behind that. I'm not going to go too much into that right now. I'll give you some links that you can explore more and some books you can read. And every time, so here, let me tell you this. In my daily routine, I'll tell you this. I do my best to read about 10 to 20, if I can, longer minutes a day, some kind of spiritual reading that really connects me to my soul and God. That just, no matter how much we think we know, when we read a little bit, we get into that vibration and that attunement, so that when I go to meditate, or some of you may say pray, same idea, you know why you're doing it. You're more focused. It helps. Meditation is very challenging. So we want to be able to focus. And when we lose our focus, how to bring it back and get inspired. So reading spiritual material a little bit every day. I like to do before I meditate. Some people do it after. It really inspires a human, is what the teachings say. And I found it to be true my whole life. And even to this day, to go deeper. I can go deeper on my own more now because I've been practicing for so long, but learning to hold it longer and longer is the goal, or to connect faster. So your soul is connected to these divine beings, the ones I used to see when I was little. So back to my Joe Dispenza retreats, and even Yogananda has yearly world convocations. When you're gathered with thousands of people in a room meditating, think how high the frequency of love and the divine is. It's not airy-fairy, it's real. You can feel it, and it helps an individual focus. It doesn't mean you don't meditate on your own. I still love meditating on my own. It's just it's like a boot camp for your soul, right? And in my last Joe Dispenza meditation retreat in Washington, D.C., Dr. Joe talks about the mystical experience. A mystical experience is when your heart opens, your third eye opens, and you are feeling one with the divine. This is really what we are here to achieve. Because the physical world, the material world, I've been hearing this lately, it's a lot of noise, right? The outer world's a lot of noise. And so then our minds have a lot of noise. And we want to cut through all the noise in our heads and in the outer world. So going within, maybe we should just go for the guided meditation now. I'll say a little bit more and then I'll guide you through something. Why it is so powerful to go within is because you can feel the true essence of your heart. You work on your breath, bringing the breath up the spine. I'm only touching lightly and doing like an introductory on how to meditate right now, to just see if it feels right for you and inspire you to read more and to dig deeper. When you breathe and your energy is down at the base of your spine, that's our creative energy where babies are made, all the lower centers. The goal is to bring that life force up to the heart and the brain. That is true happiness. When we're stuck in our lower centers, I'm summarizing again what I've learned my whole life. It's becoming very clear and simple to me. And I love making teaching simple for people. Because when I was younger or through my life, I haven't always understood. And now that I do, I think of, how would I have wanted to hear it? So you're doing the breath and you're bringing it with your focus up to the reason why we want to open our third eye is when our eyes are closed and they go down, we go to sleep and our mind can wander. When our gaze is lifted slightly, like I don't know if you've ever seen a picture of a master meditating, their eyes start to roll up a little bit. When the gaze is lifted slightly, it helps keep the mind from wandering, and it's more of a focus point right to that stillness. Be still and know that I am God. We want to get to a stillness. So it takes practice. Do not beat yourself up. In my whole career, there's two main things that I've heard. And one of them is, I can't meditate. It's so hard. I feel like 99% of people say that. It is hard. That is why we are here to practice. It's like if you want to lose 100 pounds, you don't just give up after a day, right? You don't just stop working out and eating good. So learning to meditate, learning to quiet the mind, learning to connect with your soul. Connecting with your soul is connecting with God because it is the highest form of who you are. It's no ego. It's no past traumas. It's pure love and joy and bliss that never goes away. That is the goal. And so when I got some comments from you all requesting to dive deeper on the soul connection, it's because some of you are hurting, and thank you for sharing. You've lost people. It was from my episode on loss and grief. So when we're at a lower frequency and we're in pain, we can't connect to the divine, to spirit. And again, these are all the teachings I've studied my whole life, and it's so true. When we raise our frequency, when we're in that state of love and connection, we can then connect with the spirit of somebody we have lost. So if someone you've lost has passed, if you're in a low state of grief and hurting, it's going to be hard to connect with them. So let that motivate you to raise your frequency, because they're one with God. They're in a high state. They're in a great place, and you want to raise your energy so you can feel their connection with you, and that will be so motivating. I actually practiced this with my grandma after she passed away. I remember I was really grieving and missing her and crying really hard, and then something switched to me. I was sitting in my meditation, and my eyes were closed, I was focused, and I saw her with my grandpa, and he had passed away 23 years before her, and I saw them together and happy. And then I felt this love and bliss and joy, and and that was, gosh, almost 20 years ago now, 15 years ago. Since that day, when I think of her, I never feel the pain that I did after she passed. I only feel joy because I know she's happy and she's in a good place. So I hope that example helps with where I'm going with this. So if you're alone and you're hurting, whether or not you've lost somebody or not, what we want to do is raise our vibration to a higher frequency so we can connect with loved ones or higher beings, however you want to look at it in your spiritual, religious beliefs, masters, saints, Jesus Christ. And when we're in a lower frequency and we're feeling a lot of pain, I just want to add this as a side note. It is our own personal pain from childhood that has been with us our whole life. That's why it can feel so deep. It feels confusing, like we're really just grieving the person that left. It's more. And why I like this is because when you understand that it's not just that person going, to me that's very inspiring, that I can get over that grief, and that it's some of my old wounds from childhood and my pain pattern that's coming up to be healed, and it's triggered by that loss. I can make another video on that if anybody wants me to dive deeper on that. But for now, just know if you're feeling a lot of pain and loss around someone, it's not to take away that you miss them. It's just to show you that there's more to it than them just leaving, which to me is powerful, because that means there's something we can do about it. Because there's nothing you can do about somebody leaving this life. But there is something you can do about transforming your own pain and connecting with a loved one that is in a better place. So let's dive in. Let's give it a try. So wherever you are, if you need to pause this, go ahead and pause and get comfortable. You could be sitting, laying down. If you're laying down, just make sure you can stay awake. Don't fall asleep yet. You can do it before bed. Just get in a really nice, comfortable place. So go ahead and hit pause. Great, and hopefully you hit play again. And if you didn't, let's go ahead and do it. Go ahead and close your eyes. And I want you just to slowly take a nice, deep breath and feel your lower belly all the way up to your shoulders, like you're filling up a glass of water. And then exhale it all the way out. We're going to do that a few times. Go at your own pace. And I like to do at least to the count of 4. So inhale to 4. Hold to 4. Exhale to 4. And as you do this breath, I want you to start to really feel your body. Get present in the room. Drop out of the head. Let's get right into the body. Feel your hands. Feel your feet, feel your whole body breathing as if your skin is breathing in more light, more of your soul. Keep going. Just keep going with that breath as you hear my voice. And I want you to start to visualize and feel your soul in your skin, as if you could almost see it, like a light being. That is who you are. This physical vessel, your name, is just the body your soul has chosen to be in. Your soul is divine. It has no form. It has no name. It has no gender. It is pure light and love. Start to connect with that in your heart center now. And as you keep taking deep breaths, you can let go of the count of 4. Just breathe from your base of your spine. Naturally, don't overthink it. Just let the breath go up through your chest, up to the top of your head, slowly to your third eye, as if you're looking out at your finger, but your eyes are closed, but your gaze is up and lifted, and then back down. So as you're drinking this like fluid of light up a straw through the spine, up to the top of the head and then third eye, pause at the top, and then exhale it back out. Try this a few times, and you can practice more on your own. And then what I want you to do is just tense your whole body and relax. Inhale and exhale. That just helps you get out of any tension in the body and more into the heart. So keep doing that breath up the spine a few more times. And each of these exercises I'm giving you, you can always hit pause and do them for longer. 5 to 15 minutes would be great of just feeling the breath, feeling your soul in your body. The mind will wander, just bring it back. The mind will wander, bring it back. It's okay. So as you're feeling your soul in your body, you're feeling your breath going up to your third eye and into the brain, you're filling up your cells with divine light. This is the best medicine. No doctor or no pill can give you what you're giving yourself right now, because you are releasing healthy endorphins. Your pineal gland and pituitary gland are releasing beautiful hormones, and there's so much science behind it that you can study more. Just know that when you come out of a stress state and you're in a state of love and gratitude for yourself and God, you are creating the healthiest body you can. This is true love. Now just visualize your soul's connection with the divine. That can be so personal. It can be whatever you want. You can float up into the sky, whatever your image of God is. Just feel those arms of the divine holding you and becoming one with your soul. You are a child of God. You are a reflection of light. That is who you are. Breathe that in. And now what I want you to do, again, you could spend more time doing this meditation. I just want to give you some tips that you can do on your own. So pause and do any of these exercises for longer. The breath, connecting with your soul, and then connecting to God. Bring in any masters around you holding space for you. Know that you are never alone. You can feel alone. You can definitely feel alone, and you can definitely feel pain. I'm not taking away from that. The goal is to remember there is another higher consciousness and plane where you're never alone. Now from this state, focus on maybe somebody that's gone that you love. And I want you to see yourselves in the same exact frequency. They are in a state of love. They are loving you. You are loving them. And you're both in a very high vibration. You can only connect with somebody you love if you are feeling love. You can't be feeling grief or you can't connect. So go ahead and feel love. Do whatever it takes to get there. It's okay if it doesn't happen today. Maybe you can remember something in your life that has really made you feel a lot of love and joy. And try to remember, if you're stuck in that pain or grief, it's a deeper pain pattern that you might want to look at more with a professional or dive deeper on your own. So separate it. So now as you connect to that loved one who's gone before you, feel the love of God flowing between both you and that person, and then shining out across the world, and that you will always be reunited with the ones you love. They are with you now, and when you leave this body, you will be even more conscious and aware of them. The goal is to get aware of them while you're still in the physical body, so you're not living in pain and grief. And like I said, if that grief and pain pattern is too big, that's why I did create an online program to help people get over that quicker. And it's for donation, so no amount of money can stop somebody from working on themselves. So I'll put that link in the description. But for now, stay back in your connection with yourself, with the higher beings around you, with God, and with anyone that's gone before that you want to connect to. Just start to fill up your heart with divine love and let it expand all around you. So I know that I said this is a meditation. It's more of a guided exercise to give you tips and teachings that you can practice while I'm talking to you. But what I really, really want you to do is when you're done listening to this, hit pause and do it again. Do it for 10 minutes, do it for 20. Re-listen to it if you need help remembering what to do, and make it your own. There's not one way to meditate and not one way to connect to God. The one goal we're all working on is stillness and focus. So however you need to get there, stay out of your head, drop into your heart. If sometimes when I'm sitting at my altar and meditating and praying, I'll think of my techniques and I'll be doing them. But if I all of a sudden feel very close to God in my heart, the teachings are just stop, just be with that. That's the whole goal. So don't worry about the breath or anything else and all the techniques you've ever learned. If you're feeling peace and love, you're feeling connection, just sit with that as long as you can. Let it expand. Get comfortable being slower, more still, more quiet mentally and physically is really what I want for you today. So I hope that helped. Maybe you learned something new. I'd love to hear in the comments about your meditation practice, what works for you, or what you learned that you want to practice and do more of now. And again, please leave me any comments of what you want me to make more videos on to expand these teachings of you becoming a happier, healthier, better you. Because remember, at the end of the day, we come into this life alone and we leave alone. It's not lonely. It feels lonely at times, but we're reframing it. Alone is one with God. And that is, I heard Esther Hicks Abraham say this the other day. It's such a good talk. I'll put that link in the description too. One person connected to the source, to God, is more powerful than millions. That love and that power is so fulfilling. You're filling yourself up in a way that life doesn't teach us how to. So if you're on a path and you're finding this video and these teachings, it means you're ready to fill up with your own divine light, your soul, and your connection with God. And I'm so happy to be here with you on this journey to expand and become better and more connected. I'll see you in the next one.